Please understand, I never want to hear about this project again. I don't have anything to say about the people who made it. I do not care anymore.
I want to feel bad, but I can't. I want to feel bad, but I can't. You defended the changes. You defended the casting choices. You defended it all the way down to Cape Town.
I think it's really crazy that they darkened this bitch's skin for the role. I'm looking at it like, first of all, they're so happy to just be a mess, but like, why are they the same skin color as me?
What's happening with this Children of Blood and Bone woke controversy is genuinely insane. And Dave Chappelle probably has the best take on it. Dave's been out here telling everybody that this whole woke thing's gotten out of control. Everybody's looking for a reason to be offended. And the whole movement that was supposed to bring people together is really just making everybody hate each other. Now, when Dave said this, everyone was dragging him for being ignorant and out of touch. But turns out he was spot on. So let me tell you what's going on with Children of Blood and Bone. This is a huge fantasy movie with a $100 million budget, and it's based on the 2018 novel of the same name, written by Tomi Adeyemi. The book was inspired by West African Yoruba mythology, and it follows a dark-skinned black girl, Zeli, who's fighting oppression. It takes place in the kingdom of Orisha, where society is divided by skin color. The ruling class has lighter skin, and the oppressed are described as having much darker skin. So this was supposed to be this huge moment for representation, because it wasn't just another fantasy novel. It was specifically celebrating blackness, African culture, and dark-skinned girls as heroes. It dealt with themes like colorism, oppression, and systemic injustice. So if you were a woke person who read YA, you had to have this on your shelf. But fast forward to now, and this whole thing turned into woke-on-woke crime. The author Tomi Adeyemi is now fighting with the cast. The cast is fighting with fans. The fans are dragging the author. Everyone is throwing shade at everyone on social media. Private texts are getting leaked. People are having TikTok meltdowns. It's a mess. Now, when the book Children of Blood and Bone came out in 2018, it was a huge deal. It debuted at #1 on the New York Times bestseller list, and Tomi Adeyemi was only in her early 20s when she wrote it. So when Paramount Pictures announced the movie adaptation, fans of the book lost their minds. They were finally getting a big-budget fantasy film with an all-black cast, an African-inspired world, and major studio backing. And the cast was stacked. Tuso Mbedu as Zeli, Viola Davis, Idris Elba, Cynthia Erivo, and Amandla Stenberg as Princess Amari. This was supposed to be our Black Panther moment, but for fantasy. Spoiler alert, it did not work out that way. First, people started complaining about Amandla Stenberg being cast as Princess Amari. In the book, Princess Amari is described as having dark copper skin, and her mother pressures her to lighten her skin. It's a major part of her character arc, and the story's themes about oppression and colorism within the Black community. So when fans saw that they cast Amandla, who's mixed and lighter skinned, they were furious. People were saying this is exactly what Hollywood always does. They take roles meant for dark-skinned Black women and give them to lighter-skinned actresses.
How did I just remember that Amandla Stenberg was casted as Amari in the new Children of Bones movie? Guys, when I say Amari is meant to be darker than me, Amari is like a brown skin. You get what I'm saying? Amari is meant to be a brown skin. Amandla is lighter than me. Amandla is light skin, like actual light skin.
And then there was also the Nigerian representation issue. Since the book is so deeply rooted in Yoruba culture and West African traditions, some fans were upset that the lead cast wasn't predominantly Nigerian.
Nollywood filmmakers and producers, you guys need to sit up. Earlier this week, I saw the new trailer for the Children of Blood and Bone movie set to be released soon. And for a movie that is supposed to be set in Nigeria, the premise is set in Nigeria with the story tightly woven into the Yoruba culture. It looked nothing like a movie with Nigerian origin, talk more of the Yoruba culture. It felt more like a Wakanda 2.0. Sorry to be a party pooper, I know a lot of you are anticipating this movie, but watching that trailer, everything felt like cultural appropriation to me. The casting, the set design, the costume, the accent. I've got so much to say about this movie that I feel like everything is not going to fit into one video, because I strongly believe that this movie is cultural appropriation at its finest. In a movie where you have actors like Damson Idris, Chiwetel Ejiofor, RMD, and a host of others, you cannot get the Nigerian accent properly. They still do this fake Wakandan wannabe African accent. I was so repulsed by it. Don't even get me started with the costume design. Where in the Yoruba land do people dress this way? Why was this movie shot in South Africa? Why is the lead character a South African? Why was Amanda cast as Princess Amari? Knowing fully well that casting doesn't work with the story in the books.
But the drama only got worse from here. So Tomi Adeyemi, the author of the book, was initially hyping up the movie adaptation on social media. She was an executive producer, she co-wrote the screenplay, and she spent 6 weeks on set in South Africa. So on paper, she was all in. But then in July 2026, she dropped this TikTok, basically trashing the whole project. She said she will not be watching the movie and wants nothing to do with it. But she didn't really explain what made her so upset.
After I left that set of my own film adaptation, hyperventilating and sobbing, and there are many witnesses, I came back to America and suffered such severe somatic pain and so many panic attacks. And I knew it was so bad that I would never, ever be able to watch this film. So please understand, I never want to hear about this project again.
Hyperventilating, somatic pain, all this drama, but she won't even say what happened. It's kind of difficult for us to have sympathy for her situation when we have no idea what the situation is. And that's not even the craziest part. Tomi also shared screenshots of messages she sent to Amanda Stenberg. And one message literally says, "Do not ever use my name in an interview or video again. Do not text me. Do not call me." And then she blocked her. Keep in mind, this is the same author who, according to Amanda Stenberg, gave her a whole emotional speech about how Amanda's casting as Rue in The Hunger Games inspired her to write the whole series in the first place. And check out this interview where Tomi was hyping up the movie before all this drama went down. She seemed thrilled about the project. She took up for the Amanda casting and said she enjoyed the director and cast.
But I was like, if you feel brokenhearted by this, I don't think you'll feel that way when you're sitting in the theaters.
Yeah.
I promise you, this world is beautiful and we're all in
It's
it.
such
And
a
that's
beautiful
so
world.
beautiful to me. Like when you see the scene, like where my cameo is, the girls in this scene,
Yeah.
they
You have
are
a cameo? Not your acting debut.
not my acting debut alongside Viola Davis.
Oh, cheers.
It's so beautiful, and I think people will be very proud. I
Decision
support
making.
Gina, and she has put her all into this. She is one of the hardest
I
working
can't
people
wait
I
to
know.
see the
She signed
direction
on
this takes.
like she signed her deal on a Saturday. We were on a 3-hour call on a Sunday. Every day before we film a scene, she goes back to the book to read the scene.
Wow.
But now Tomi is out here publicly cutting off Amanda and saying this film is the worst thing she's ever had to live through.
So that you guys can understand how this film, which I worked on to make it a little better for us to be alive, is also the worst thing I have ever had to live through. And I don't wish to speak on it anymore.
So basically, she's saying this dream project was a nightmare, and now she wants nothing to do with it. But here's the thing that's making people turn on her. Until Tomi is transparent about what exactly happened instead of beating around the bush, she's not getting any support. Because she was in full support of everything, including the casting, until the very end. But suddenly there's a problem, and she doesn't want people to watch the movie? This is performative and hypocritical on her end. She stood by the movie from casting through the entire filming process, and only flipped a couple of weeks ago. She should have said this way earlier. Now, it's very possible she signed an NDA in exchange for the book series to be adapted at all. And if she breaks it, they will have every right to sue her into oblivion, making an already painful situation worse. But then why jump on social media and post these long rants, block the lead actress, and do all this petty stuff? For what? Let's not forget Tomi fought for Amanda Stenberg, even after Black Americans and Africans came out to condemn her casting. She argued with fans online and blocked them for saying Amanda was not the right choice. But now she's blocked Amanda, blames others, and wants nothing to do with the movie? One fan on X said, Tomi Adeyemi is trying to get you all on her side because she is fame and clout hungry. She was fine with the Amanda casting before. I'm curious to see if her cameo got cut, and that's why she is now against the movie when she originally told you all to shut your black hinds up. And now let's talk about what Dave Chappelle said about all this. If you've been following Dave's work, you know that pretty much everything he's been saying about woke culture and cancel culture ties directly into what's happening with children of blood and bone.
Ain't a country whose ears are so brittle. Motherfuckers are so sensitive. The whole country is turned into b****s. Everything you say upsets somebody.
So Dave's whole thing is that instead of having actual conversations, people just want to cancel whoever says something they don't like.
Cancel culture bothers me. I'm not even opposed to the ideas behind, some of these cancellations. I get it.
I get
want to do good things.
Stopping harassment. You know,
All of
stopping
it.
all
Racism, harassment,
everything.
this ism, that ism,
Yeah.
this phobia, that
Yeah.
phobia. I get it. Let's fight it.
And people got so mad at Dave for saying that. They called him transphobic, homophobic, all of that. But Dave never said he was opposed to people fighting for justice and equality. His point was that the progressive movement had turned on itself, and the people who are supposed to be allies are now the first ones to tear each other down. And now everybody is so obsessed with being morally superior that they forgot how to just be human. Dave said people are looking for opportunities to be offended, and he was 100% right. Because look at this Children of Blood and Bone situation. The whole book is about fighting oppression and colorism. It's literally written to uplift black girls, especially dark-skinned ones. It's one of the most woke books you could possibly read. The author is a black woman. The cast is all black. One of the lead actresses, Amandla Stenberg, is a gay woman. The director is black. The producers are black. On paper, this should be the most progressive project in Hollywood. And yet, they're out here absolutely eating each other alive. They're fighting over who's black enough, who's Nigerian enough, who's the right shade, who said what about who blocked who on Instagram. It is exactly the type of performative nonsense Dave Chappelle has been warning us about for years. But now I want to hear your takes on this. What do you think happened that made Tommy turn on her own movie adaptation? How do you feel about casting choices?